Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of Colossians. Today we're in Colossians chapter 4. We're looking at verses 5 and 6. Now, in yesterday's session, we saw that Paul had told the Colossian believers to be devoted to prayer. Be people of prayer. And especially pray that the gospel might be proclaimed clearly. Notice how he follows that up with verses 5 and 6 of chapter 4. Be wise in the way you act toward outsiders. Make the most of every opportunity. Let your conversation be full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. Now, how is this connected with his instruction to be praying, especially for effective evangelism? Well, he says, be wise in the way you act toward the outsiders. Now, by outsiders, he means those outside of the church, those who have not yet found Christ, those who do not yet know Jesus. So they're outside of the life of faith. They're outside of the community of those who belong to Jesus. So be wise in your conduct toward them, in your behavior toward them, and the way you act, because you want your life to be a witness. You know, you're praying that the gospel might be proclaimed clearly, and you also want to live in such a way that your life is wise. That is, it shows the benefit of life in Christ to those who are outside. You want your lifestyle to be evangelistic. That is, the outsiders, those outside the church, to see you, to know you, and to realize you're a different kind of person because Jesus is in you. And then perhaps they will be attracted to faith in Jesus as well. That's why he says, make the most of every opportunity. When you have a chance to tell somebody about Jesus, well, take that chance. When you have an opportunity to let someone know about what the Lord has done for you, then use that opportunity well. God's going to give you open doors. He's going to give you opportunities to give witness for Him. So be praying about those opportunities when they come, and then when they arise, use them to give a witness for Jesus. That's why it says be full of grace. You want your life to be so gracious toward others that they are attracted to a Christian life. Let your life be full of grace. Let it be seasoned with salt. Isn't that interesting? Seasoned with salt. You know, we love to season our food with salt. It adds to the taste. And our lives should be lived in such a way, filled with prayer, that it's like salt is in our life. In other words, it adds to the quality of life. That is, Jesus has done this for us. For your life to be seasoned with salt is to demonstrate that Jesus has enhanced your life and made your life full and meaningful, and thus you are showing that to others. Maybe Paul is thinking here about the time Jesus said, you are the salt of the earth. Yes, indeed. And so make sure your life is seasoned with salt. And he says, well, the result is you will know how to answer everyone. In other words, you want to live in such a way. Your life is seasoned with salt. It is full of grace. You're showing the love of Jesus. And so people are going to start asking you about, why are you the way you are? Why is your life so full of joy and this heavenly spirit? And so you're ready to answer. You're ready to tell them what Jesus has done for you. You want to know how to give an answer to people about the kind of life you are living, that it's a life in Christ. In another one of the letters in the New Testament, we're told to always be ready to give an answer about your faith. In other words, be ready to give a witness, be ready to give a testimony. So Paul is saying the same thing in these verses. Just may your life be filled with the wisdom of the Lord, gracious life, seasoned with salt, letting everyone know how wonderful it is to follow Jesus and to give witness to what He can do for their life as well. Now join us tomorrow as we'll begin looking at the last paragraph of chapter 4, in which Paul starts what really are his concluding remarks. So he's starting to wrap things up, and we'll begin looking at that tomorrow. So join us next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the book of Colossians.